Hello, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of Team Avatar and my Avatar to the Diversity Mahotsav 2022. I am Janani Sampath and I will be your host for today's evening. As we start, here are a few hygiene checks for a seamless virtual experience. Please close all other applications on your computer and log out from your organization's VPN to conserve internet bandwidth. We would like to thank our partners, featured partners Kellogg Brown and Root Engineering and Construction India Private Limited and Saint Gobain India Private Limited. Our social media hashtags are hashtag Diversity Mahotsav 2022, hashtag Celebrating Diversity. Do post your experience at Diversity Mahotsav on your SM handles with these hashtags. I would like to inform you that all the Diversity Mahotsav episodes are being live streamed on our YouTube channel. Scan the QR code seen on your mobiles or laptops or computers to watch the Diversity Mahotsav live on YouTube. Alternatively, you can go to the link that is seen on the same slide. You can also use the link that we have posted on the chat box. Celebrating diversity in the workplace is all about bringing together different groups of people, including them thoughtfully, offering all the means and opportunities they require to realize their fullest potential. And this has exactly been Avatar's quest, working with the organizations across industries as a pioneer in the field of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this was also the vision to see more women participate in the workforce. While we have expanded our impact across diversity strands to cover people with special needs, disabilities, LGBTQ, to name a few, we, as a inclusion solutions firm and myavatar.com, India's, we also wish to celebrate ourselves.
I am delighted to share that My Avatar is India's first and only portal to celebrate diversity. This means that we are a portal that addresses ourselves to different diversity talent pools, different underrepresented groups of talent like women, second career women, members of the LGBTQ community, persons with disability, veterans, and the silver generation. And what do we do at myavatar.com? First of all, we provide jobs from a whole host of organizations that are committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We also create experiences and opportunities for people to come in touch with each other, to form communities, and finally, we also offer skilling programs to ensure that every individual who registers to myavatar.com has the opportunity to reach the fullest of their potential.
That was Dr. Soundarya Rajesh, our founder president, talking about the vision of My Avatar, which is again about celebrating ourselves, celebrating the diversity, celebrating the different strands that we cater to. So, coming back to Diversity Mahotsav, the month-long celebration by myavatar.com, India's only diversity hiring portal, it's one of its kind initiative. It aims to look for multi-pronged strategies to explore the world of opportunities out there for diverse groups. Diverse in its approach with experiential sessions, success stories, and skill building workshops, it recognizes that one size doesn't fit all and that there is a need for different levels of intervention. And with the second successive edition of Diversity Mahotsav, we look forward to expanding our impact in celebrating your diversity. I, Janani, once again welcome you all on behalf of Team Avatar, India's premier diversity inclusion firm. Over the years, the function of sales has seen the dominance of men and the term salesman becoming actually more common. You know, there is this very interesting movie by Satyajit Ray. It's called Mahanagar. And In this movie, you will actually see the protagonist, which is a woman played by Madhavi Mukherjee, the legendary Bengali actress, being a homemaker, and she transforms into this working woman professional. And what she does is she goes door to door selling sewing machines. Of course, this was set in the Calcutta of the 60s. And but then the imagery around salespersons continues to be of confident women career and very intentional professional. And today, while it has remained a male forte, there has been a signaling of a change. We have inclusive organizations that have begun to explore begun to explore women talent, with more and more entering the sales and marketing domain. In fact, according to Avatar and Seramount, India's largest DEI analytics study, one of the top 5 functions with a good percentage of women representation is marketing. Today, the topic Elevate and Influence, a fireside chat with women in sales, has 3 such people. Women who have pushed frontiers, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome them. First, we have Janani Surya Narayanan. She is an MBA graduate with 11 plus years of experience in business development and proposals. She has been associated with KBR as Associate Specialist Proposals. She has also worked with leading companies in renewable and non-renewable energy sectors and oil and gas sector. Welcome, Janani. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Next, we have Priya Kadam, Commercial Manager, Bayer Crop Science Limited. Her key roles in the organization are sales target, liquidation target, product to farmer, increasing market penetration, and reach people management. Welcome, Priya. The third panelist we have today is Revati Sharma, Marketing Manager, Glass, Saint Gobain Glass India Private Limited. Among a long lineup of her work, her essential functions are B2B marketing, strategic development, and execution of B2B marketing campaigns and other influencer engagement initiatives in alignment with business objectives. Welcome, Revati. It's a pleasure to have all 3 of you on board today for this panel discussion, Elevate and Influence, a fireside chat with women in sales. So this panel discussion will look to explore the terrain of sales, the scope for women, and the challenges vis-a-vis the experiences of the 3 of them. Another request to our audience is, while we are having this question and answer session, you could also drop in your questions in the Q&A box. We will pick it up and get them answered for you. A very warm welcome to all of you, Janani, Priya, and Revati. It's a pleasure to have you with us. So are we ready for the discussion?
Yes,
And
thank you so much for the welcome,
Very
Janani.
much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The audience is out there, and this is a very eclectic set of women who have seen it all and who have lived the experience of being women in sales. So I'm sure they're anticipating a very, very insightful discussion here. So let's get beginning. So, this sales as a function has a gender association, and stereotyping it is though. Please tell us what led you to explore the domain of sales. Can I begin with Janani, please? You are on mute, Janani. Can you unmute and speak? I can't hear you. There is an issue. Yes. Yes, Janani, as we sort that out, can I have that question posed to Priya, please? So can you please tell us what led you to explore the domain of sales?
So to start with, it is more important in sales that you need to have passion to what you do. So if you have passion and you have rigor to achieve your numbers and targets, you will actually get on to the sales function. And it is not mandatory that who is a person who can do sales, be it a male or a female candidate, doesn't matter. What matters is you should have your inner voice, you should have your inner talent in you, that yes, you can succeed in any function, be it cross functionally or be it in sales. So I believe the passion to succeed is the only thing that keeps you in action to move ahead in sales function.
Awesome, Priya. So the takeaway I have here is grit and determination, and
That's
and to
true.
just go and give it your best without caring for the biases out there, the stereotypes out there. Thank you so much for sharing that. Can I move on to you, Revati? Can you please share your thoughts?
Yeah. So to answer your question, there is absolutely no doubt at this point. It's a stereotype that sales is function. It has a gender association, and it is more looked up as a man-led profession than a women-led. But agreeing to what Priya just mentioned, I believe that there is nothing to do with gender here, because it is about, as long as you have the resilience, or as long as you enjoy what you do, or to highlight certain characteristics you require in a sales role, like logical thinking or creativity or having the energy or enthusiasm or passion about your product. If you are able to connect with the people and convince or incept an idea about purchasing a particular product, if you have all of this in you, I think this is for anyone to do. So yeah, that's my take on this. And to personally tell you why I chose the domain of sales, personally, I would say I'm more of an enabler of sales. As my role says, I'm the marketing manager, though I have definitely have overlap with the sales role. To be very honest, it happened by chance. But if you ask me if I'm confident about taking up a sales lead role or confident about what I am doing right now, absolutely. Because when you look at sales as a role, it is about starting a new career, having a unique perspective, traveling, meeting unknown people, working in rural areas sometimes, and it also takes a lot of hard work, and challenges come your way throughout. But if there is all that, what I look forward to in my career, definitely sales is our cup of tea. So yeah, so that's how I landed in this role, and I absolutely enjoy it.
That's amazing, Revati, because you're talking about, looking at all the challenges and saying, I know you're all there, but, I'm going to take you on with all my might and all my determination. So that again comes back to, the concept of grit and determination. That's great. And so as Janani can speak
Yeah,
now. Yes, yes, please.
yeah.
Thank
Can you
you.
hear me now?
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry, some
Loud and
technical
clear, loud and
issues.
clear, loud and clear. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I I did not choose sales actually. That was by chance. But after joining, I was into BD and proposals as trainee engineer. That was my initial role. So after joining sales team, and I started to think like sales is the one who brings in business to the company, so that plays a major role. So that attracted me towards sales. So I started being in business development and sales, and proposals throughout my career. And I started understanding like if we are in sales, we have more visibility. There are lots of positive challenges. We meet new people, we build up network. So all these attracted me, and that's how I'm still being in sales. So this is my part in sales. Yeah.
Amazing, Janani. So, it's like something it's a serendipitous calling that you discovered, right? So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Or some of these accidental discoveries are the most beautiful discoveries. Thank you so
Yes.
much. So, and then takes us to the next question, because we have already addressed the existing bias that is there when you discuss the sales as a role, and we always associate with men. What are the common biases or stereotypes that you have faced in your career? Is it any different from these, or are these some kind of new biases that, like, oh my God, I didn't expect this kind of a stereotype. I expected something else. I was prepared for it, but this is something totally out of syllabus for me. Can you share those thoughts? Yes, Janani, coming back to you again. Yeah.
Yeah, but generally, what obstacle we usually get in sales is like they'll say sales is not your cup of tea. You cannot travel, you cannot leave your family. So that's the main thing we generally get. And also, I feel we are paid less than our colleagues. Yeah, that's the major stereotype we see. And they say we have less negotiation skills, we don't easily travel. So these are the most obstacles we meet actually.
Yeah, Priya, moving on to you. So, what kind of biases that you have encountered on your way?
So I will tell you one good thing and one thing that I encountered in my career. So it goes back 12 years back when I was first very new to the sales domain with ICICI Prudential. And initially it was just the male group that we used to see in insurance companies, and hardly there was a new, I must say, a new person who joined along with me, a female candidate. And first 2 months was very horrible with within the place, within the culture. That the team was not accepting that women can also be in sales. And therein actually I got a little bit demotivated that this is what I am seeing, that the people are not encouraging this woman to be a part of a sales team. But then I actually thought that it is better to perform rather than come on the back foot. This is where I actually accepted the first challenge in my life when I faced this kind of a biases within the group. So that was the first thing that I encountered as a bias. But one good thing that I would like to share with you is that Bayer is an organization which encourages inclusion and diversity. And they believe on life values, be it a male candidate or a female candidate. If I have to elaborate more on the life values, it talks about leadership, integrity, flexibility, and efficiency to work within an organization. So whether you be a male or a female candidate doesn't matter. What matters is measurable performances and clear communication. So that is all about what I have faced, one good part and one bad part. So that is it.
Amazing. While there are so many obstacles, there are antidotes too, right? To that.
That's
So that's great. And if we are able to spot that, then nothing like it to actually accelerate our journey in this. Yes, Revati, your thoughts.
Yeah, talking about my personal experience with Hinduvin as a company internally, I honestly have not faced much biases or stereotypes. But however, the industry where we come from, we are mainly from the building industry, and our clientele is to do with a lot of raw clientele, and that's a masculine domain industry, I would say. So take the distribution channels
Yes.
or the installers, it's not many women you find. And anytime we go for market research or a market visit and meet these crowd, they really don't think women understand business. It's a given perception that men understand business better. We might talk about the product very passionately, about what we want to do, how we want to engage, but at the end of the day, when it gets into a commercial discussion, okay, why don't you let your boss talk to us, or why don't you come back with your national head? And even when I am going with a colleague of mine, they would be interested in continuing the discussion with him rather than me. So that is one very common bias or a stereotype which I've seen in generally in the society. So yeah.
That's like, yeah, you're there, but I think you need a little more explanation to get that point across. Yeah, that's a very deep-seated bias. I can so imagine, which we call as sometimes as mansplaining, right? Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Revati. So that brings us to the next questions. We have been talking about the challenges. We've been touching upon the challenges. Let's talk about some very, very memorable and good things about our careers. So please share with us one or two of the most memorable moments in your sales career. Yeah, can we start with Janani again? Yeah.
Yeah, so we are like time bound bits. We usually participate in time bound bits where we work like around 18 hours, 19 hours throughout to complete that bid. So I coordinated with one of the leading client. We successfully completed that bid, and finally, yeah, we sent that out from our desk after 18 hours of hard work. And to my surprise, I got a appreciation mail from client copying all my managers and senior team, and luckily we also won that bid. So that is my most memorable thing in my career. So that changed my thought and perspective a lot. Actually, that gave me one strength, and it actually brought in my capability out. And also, that's when I realized, okay, I can do this. So that is my most memorable thing in my life. Yeah.
So it was all well worth the
Yes.
effort and struggle. Thanks, Janani. Yes, let's go to Priya next.
Yes, so about me, I would say that I come from a versatile background, versatile career, starting from sales to procurement, to supply chain, again back to as a business analyst, and again coming back as a commercial manager sales for Nashik commercial area. For me, basically, while I was a business analyst with Biocrop Science, there was basically a campaign that was supposed to happen in Madhya Pradesh. This is for the corn crop. And we decided that head office team should also come support the field people on ground to help them do the campaigning basically. So wherein I got very good response from the farmers, from the dealers, from the distributors, from the retailers, where actually I got the essence of on-field activities of how the sales actually is as compared to what happens at head office. At head office you only talk about numbers, but here actually we connect with people, we connect with product, and when we connect with so many stakeholders on ground, we actually know the essence of effort that we put on ground, legs on ground basically. So that was a very, very good experience where actually the campaigning starts from morning 6 o'clock to evening, might be 7:30 with multiple breaks in between. But at least a lot of good feedback coming from the field about myself and my performance on ground was actually a motivating thing that I saw. And that actually the courage to leave your family behind, you be on ground, you be with the team, you be close with the farmers, you understand their issues and problems, what are the situations, and most important is you be a good listener to them, that you understand their issues and you were able to solve them on ground. So all these factors were actually motivating me, where I thought that yes, sales is the right thing that I have to come with now, right now at least. And then I got this opportunity of a commercial manager sales for Nashik. And past 2 months, I am here in this role. And this actually motivated me to be a part of the sales function again.
Amazing, Priya. There's so many moments of epiphany, right? When we kind of
Yes,
see, we do a few things we know
yes,
that we have been doing. There is a pattern to our profession, but then there is this one sudden gratification moment that changes it all, and then you say that yes, it has totally been. This is exactly what I have been looking for. Probably you haven't been able to articulate it then, but then when it
yes,
happens, you know that this is exactly the feeling that gives me this thought of gratification, saying that all these years of struggle, whatever efforts I have put in, is for this moment. Great.
yes.
Yeah, Revati can.
But I also have to add one more thing, that I
Yeah.
must also appreciate our organization who also embraces this cross-functional movement, not just being in sales, but also coming from different cross-functional areas. So that also helps us to accelerate in our career.
Lovely. Thanks, Priya. Thank you. Revati, over to you.
It is very hard to like pinpoint one or two memorable moments as such, but top of my mind, it is about one of the events which we pulled off. So it was decided like 3 days in prior, and we were told this is the second Saturday weekend. Let's pull off an event on Sunday, and we were a team of five, of which three of us were women, and two other men were there, and literally we worked around the clock. We like literally worked through the midnight, and we pulled off that event, and it was a huge success. And fun fact, that event was attended by 150 men, and we literally hosted an event. And the like she Priya rightly mentioned, right, more than the success of the event, or to highlight the fact that we actually pulled it off, it is the determination and the grit with which, with zero complaint, zero hesitation, we worked through a second Saturday weekend with two other women, which I am very proud of my team, obviously. And that's one top of my mind success story, I would say. And in addition to that, I would like to highlight one more scenario, which is basically a slightly contradicting to what I said earlier, where, one of those visits, we went to one of the projects in Hyderabad, where the client gave us an appointment post 8 o'clock in the night. And it was in a building which was under construction, and it was a 15-floor building. It was a huge project for us, so we could not miss that meeting. And I went with two of my other colleagues, and we had to go in that construction site in the 15th floor. And we waited for another hour, and finally we met him at around 9 o'clock. And it was a great discussion. And we were almost going to lose that project, very honestly. But somehow that the person who was in charge, the manager, he just looked at me and said, seeing that you have come from a different city, from the head office, sitting here at 9:30 talking to me, It means it shows so much. What do you think I should do in this case? Can you give me that assurance that this project or this dream project of mine will really turn out to be a successful one? And then we had a good conversation for 10 minutes, and we actually won that project. And being not doing a hands-on sales role, seeing the project that we won, and we could actually, I could add some value to that discussion, really meant a lot to me. So yeah, that would be another one.
Awesome, Priya, Janni, and Revati. This particular, when you're talking about your moments of triumph, so it's like you go pursuing this inner calling, and then everybody around you, a few of them understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then you have this and this these moments of satisfaction are just like they just come when you least expect them. So amazing! Thank you so much for sharing those moments. Our audiences today would definitely like to know, why is there a bias in the first place? Is there any difference in approach between men and women when it comes to sales? Yeah, Janani, we'll begin with you.
See, it depends upon the individual. It's not, I mean, we cannot generally classify it as men and women. Everybody is unique. So, there are some differences, there are some biases. There are some biases between the women itself. We cannot say that. So, I don't feel, I mean, everything is different. Everyone follows different approach. That is my answer. I cannot say it is between men and women. Yeah.
Certainly. Fair enough. Fair enough, Janani. Thank you so much. Yes, we move to Priya.
Yeah, I certainly also agree on what Janani just rightly said. It all depends upon person to person, how a person perceives a particular situation and another person, be it a male or a female candidate. But yes, there are a few hitches, I must say, when it comes to biases, and it will take certain time to go away from the society. But yes, it will take its own sweet time. But it is more important that you address these biases in a positive way, and you at least move on. Do not stop anywhere. Do not have any biases affect your performance or your growth. So that is what I keep as a perspective towards this.
Revati, your take?
Um, like Janani and Priya said, there is I mean, I wouldn't say there's so much difference, but definitely there are certain innate qualities both in men and women, which might suit the sales. Again, it's industry specific. In some industries, some traits might have more weightage than the others, right? So as well as, again, where I'm coming from, this is in my personal opinion only. Sometimes we need to be very aggressive or competitive, and we have to think objectively, and and that's more, I would say, the qualities of men. At the same time, some segment or some key customer segment groups, we need to be better listeners, think very holistically, and pay attention to detail, be more empathetic. All those are probably, I would say, women have it innately than men. Like rather, women might work more collaborative than competitive, and that's how generally men tend to be, at least in this industry again. So I would say it's not that this is a good approach, this is a bad approach. It's about what works best in whichever scenario we are put in. So yeah.
So it's basically about being versatile,
Yes,
trying
absolutely.
to and draw on your own strengths that you have as a person. Awesome. Talk about the success formula in sales. What makes a person successful in sales? If you can revisit your own journeys, or the three of you, and tell us about what you think has been this one point that has made you very successful in this role. Yes, Janani. Yes.
Yeah, the first and foremost thing is like we'll need to handle the rejections. We'll face lots and lots of rejections, and also the customer mood swings will take us to a different level. We'll have to handle the customers. Okay, they'll be in good mood, then yeah, your day is good. If they are in really bad mood, that's it. We are gone for a toss. So the customer handling is most important, as well as the failures. We'll get lots of failures, lots of rejections, which has to be handled in a high level. We shouldn't take it into our mind. So generally what salespeople do is like they are talking on behalf of company. Again, the customer is also talking to company representative, and he is not talking to Janani. So most of us, what we will take it personally, that this customer is like talking to me in this way, so that shouldn't be there. So the communication skills and the people handling skill is more important. We have to empathize the customer, and we'll also have to be confident. So if we have all these together, then yeah, we'll be successful people in sales. Hello.
Yes, Janani, yes. So I think the key ingredient that I take away from here is, confidence, and the part that, being receptive of the sometimes the negatives also, and seeing it and not taking it personally, because it's that, I'm sure there are very bad days that you would see, but it's about all about understanding that I'm disassociating with, this is not individually, it's a company, it's a response to the company, and it is, I'm representing the company. Awesome. Yeah. Priya, your thoughts? What is your
So for
success
me,
mantra?
yes, my success mantra is three P's. P also stands for Priya, but apart from these, there is another P that is missing. So
Sure.
one is people, second is product, and third is presence. Okay. So when it is about sales, you need to be there with the people. You need to be on ground. You need to be with the products, and you need to be with the people with their problems. If you stay away from them, saying that you are a manager, you shouldn't do ABC. That doesn't work. You should be very close to the people and on ground activities. That is the only guru mantra for sales and targets to happen.
Amazing. P, perfect. That's again another P. Thank you, Priya. Let's move to Revati now. Let's hear your success formula, Revati.
Yeah, I mean, I will just build. She's given a beautiful framework. Priya has given a beautiful framework, so I'll just build on that. So when she says, I also believe that we need three P's: presence, and people and product. And again, presence, it's about asking the right questions to the right person about what they want, to understand their pain points, and what is it that they're looking for. And secondly, when it comes to people, again, like I said, about being a good listener and being empathetic, proposing the right solution to what they're looking for. And third, the most important, is the product. Having a good understanding about your product, and having like, or being truly passionate about all about the product or service we are offering, that is very, very important. And because unless you know your product and service well, you will not be able to propose the right or apt solution which the customer needs. So if you have it, I think that's the recipe to being a successful salesperson. And definitely handling rejections is a beautiful point, which Janani also mentioned.
Great points there, panelists. So, as we talk about it, as you have shown our audiences how to turn on the challenges and convert them into an opportunity, or how to see them in a new light, we should also talk about the opportunities that women today have in the field of sales, right? So, because organizations today are opening the doors for women to take up the role of salespersons, it's no longer the salesman, it is the salesperson. So, what do you think are the innate advantages women have for the role, and why, for women who really need to understand, this is as women, these are some of the traits that are associated with you, and these are exactly what it works well for sales. If you can share them with us. Yes, Janani, can I begin with you again?
Yes, I think we have that born talent of multitasking. So women can easily multitask things, and also they can empathize easily. So I think these are the main advantages we have. We listen to people, we care for them, we empathize, we multitask. So all these um, comes together, and we try to manage team with our own skill set. So I think this is the major advantage we have.
Great. Yes, Priya, can we hear from you?
Yes. So as I said earlier as well, so buyer works on the life values and also encourages diversity. So in our organization, like everybody knows that I am the first lady commercial manager who has accepted this role, this challenging role of sales in IBSL, that is India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. And in my team, I have only male colleagues who are commercial managers, and I'm the only one out of the 10. So I have a lot of support from them as to, yes, you are multi-talented as a woman, but apart from that, how better you can excel in your role and what advantages it will bring to you, and is what they actually helped me in these things. But yes, as Janani rightly mentioned, we are actually, as a woman, we are multitaskers and we are good at it. And I must say that we are in sales, you need to be a good listener to be a good problem solver. So that is the most important thing. And the advantages sales bring to us is keep you on toes and also keep you multitasking all the time, be it personally as well as professionally. So that is the biggest advantage I see here.
So Priya, you are a great seeker of multitasking, because I've never seen anybody so excited about multitasking. So that's amazing. Nice. Yes, Revati.
Um, Adding to everything being told, I guess the women are also very holistic thinkers. They take into every situation into consideration before they actually put forth a solution or a decision. Right, that is one key uh, trait which women has, I believe. Yeah.
So yes, so it's a combination of communication, good listening skills, and being that empathetic. Basically, listening and understanding. Okay, this is the problem, and like Priya had earlier said in that the triple P formula that she followed, that she shared with us, and so these are the essential ingredients that are available. It is there within you. You just have to tap it to get ahead in this field. So we have spoken about the biases, we have spoken about the stereotypes, but are there some other challenges that women face in sales, or what are the self-limiting biases that women typically have? You can start from Janani.
Yeah, there is no major limitations, I would say, but there are some family restrictions which you'll have. You will not suddenly there'll be some travel plans, but you cannot make it. So these are the, I wouldn't say it's a major challenge, but yeah, we do have face something similar of this kind.
That's again the mobility part of it, right? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So Priya, what about you?
Yes, I would just like to build upon this thing of mobility, because in sales you need to be completely on toes, as I've been telling from the beginning of this session, that you don't see the time, you don't see the day, you don't see the date. You're just on field with the people at that time whenever they need you. So this is how I actually normally am on field. And sometimes I land up coming home late because I'm crazy towards sales. So that is the only thing I see, that that is the one thing that I have to pull up myself. But I have my leaders, I mean my bosses, telling me that you need to manage your time, ensure that you come home early. Don't come home late. This is what I get mentoring from my seniors. But this is only my crazy behavior that keeps me on toes, and I come home late. So that is it. But I
That's,
don't
yeah.
see any, but I don't see anything bad over here. Just that there are some things that need to be fixed. That's it.
Yes, Priya. So we move to Revati. Your thoughts?
One again, talking about the self-limiting biases, I think one of the major thing is how sales is always about targets. I was actually talking to a colleague also this morning, told her this is what I'm going to speak about today. And the first thing is, when she restarted her career also after a break, she was like, my first thought was, oh my God, I'll have monthly targets. What if I don't meet? What if I do well? But my first question was to her, it's not just about sales, right? Any role you take up, you have your targets, you have your deliverables, which you have to meet. What is so different about sales? If you have the qualities, you take it up and deliver. Definitely, one can do good. Secondly, I think it's about what they call as the imposter syndrome. Again, we have that doubt about self. What if we are not good enough? What if we are not able to perform? We try to what do I say, emulate certain traits of men. What we think is ideal for sales need not be, not necessarily. That is one of the other points which I can think of. Again, one of the main things is lack of role models. I would say in any company we move to, or any domain we want to move to, there are enough and more role models of men doing well in sales. But if you look at the women role models, we hardly have countable number of women I can think of. So that is also one thing which makes us feel a little underrepresented or undervalued in this particular vertical. So I guess these are all the self-limiting biases I could think of.
Revati, you shown the light on some of these very, very pertinent points, like this imposter syndrome. Today we are discussing about women in sales, but that is something that I think is applicable to women across fields. So we also have this. I would also request the audience to visit avatarinc.com, and we have a diversity digest portal section where we discuss DEI related topics, and we have addressed imposter syndrome in that in detail, so you can understand, and to also understand people to know that they have imposter syndrome. So that is something you would get a lot of clarity about if you visit diversity digest at avatarinc.com. So I request all of them who was listening to us today to have a
Mhm.
look and understand how, because imposter syndrome can be very damaging, the implications. And also this point of this role models, that's bang on target, because which is probably true for most fields where women are far and few in between male counterparts. So that's thank you for bringing up those, Revati. Here I would also like to remind our audiences, you can share your questions for the panelists in the Q&A box. We will take them and get them addressed by the panelist. So moving on to the next question. You have been definitely giving them insights throughout this discussion. As we are nearing the end of the discussion with a couple of questions, you have been discussing it. But if you can, I'm sure there are some sales aspirants in this audience and who want to take a plunge, but they really have some doubts and queries. So, what are the tips you would like to offer to women who aspire for a career in sales? Your pointers. We'll begin with Janani again.
Yeah, I would say do not restrict yourself, and also we should learn to say no when wherever it is needed. We generally hesitate to say no, but then this requires that sales requires that. So if you cannot do something, we'll have to explain them and say no, and also we'll have to honor our commitments. And also, when you go meet a customer, you should know your customer, and also you should know about the industry they are working in and the company details and end to end about the customer, because when you go explain about your product or about your company, you will have to know about your company as well as the customer's needs and his investment, his market trends and stuff. So these are the tips I would say.
Thank you, Janani. We move on to Priya next.
Yes, so here also I have three P's basically. So one is professional, second is product, and third is parameters. You should be able to have actually you should be a professional person to know what is the knowledge that you have and where you can actually explore your risk taking abilities to what extent. So if you have the product knowledge, you actually could take the risk of going in sales because you should know the product and the target market. And if you're able to bridge the gap between these two, I don't see any issue with any person to go for sales function.
Great, Priya. Thank you. Revati?
My again thought would be to take that leap of faith in whatever you believe and believe in yourself about what you can achieve. Like we were discussing previously also, there are certain things which we believe are important, and as women, right, we try to prove our competence to our bosses, or we have that mindset that there are certain qualities which are very important, and we try to be that, we try to be who we are not. That need not necessarily be true. There are certain innate qualities in us, like creativity or interpersonal skills, which definitely can be an advantage. So my advice, or my suggestion or my request would be to play your strengths to your advantage, and definitely we can see success in all our actions.
Thank you so much. That was a lot of that's like a crash course in what you have to do, right, to actually ace it. We do have some questions coming in, panelists. So one is from Renal. What have you been doing to encourage more women to participate in sales career? And personal actions you may have taken to make a difference to other women so that we can grow our tribe. This is a very, very nice question. Thank you, Renal, for posting that. Yes, Meenal. Sorry, I got the name wrong. It's Meenal. Yeah, Meenal is asking that question. So we can have All of you answer one by one. Yeah.
Can I take it up first?
Yeah, sure, Priya.
Okay. So I will give a real life example. In my team, I have a colleague who is female, okay, who reports into me. But even before I actually took up this role, her performance was negative month on month for past 6 months, and that actually is not acceptable. And like I said, therapy is very important. You need to be with the person. You need to be a good listener. So what I did is I actually removed my time to spend time with her half a day to understand what she does, how she starts her day, and what all activities she does, and where she is facing an issue. So I just tried to bridge the gap between these 2 points, and I spent some more time to help her understand few points where she was lagging behind, and to meet her few important critical distributors and dealers who were actually a little bit painful for her to crack few targets. So that is how actually I was available for her. And to talk about encouraging more female candidates, we actually have a Saksham ground basically, wherein we have male and female candidates hired on those platforms to be able to give more sourcing of female candidates for such kind of a sales role. And we keep training sessions with them. Day long training session might be 3 or 4 days to help them build up their career in sales function and how they can actually do it in different areas. And this is how I actually encourage women colleagues to actually be the part of sales. And also I ensure that if any of my sales colleague who is a female candidate who is facing any challenge, I ensure that I go out of my way to help her to fix her problem.
Great points there, Priya. Thanks for sharing that. Revati and Janani, either of you
Yes.
would like to go next? Yeah.
I would probably have to speak on behalf of our HR team. Um, so, uh, in our, at least in Saint-Gobain, what I have seen or what I appreciate is that they give a lot of opportunity to women who are starting their careers, right? Definitely, in terms of diversity, the representation of women now in the sales and the marketing roles, or even in the manufacturing unit, has definitely increased in the last, 3-4 years. However, for women who are restarting their careers or have taken a career break, there are dedicated portals through which they are trying to increase the hiring and start help building their journey more in sales domain. That's one thing I would say. And there are also part-time roles, if not full-time. Some of the women were saying, we have our responsibilities, we are in that life stage where we want to be able to dedicate full-time. So we also have opened up a lot of part-time opportunities for women who are able to dedicate at least 2-3 days a week. So that is one commendable initiative by our HR team. And personal actions which we have taken, definitely we have done a lot of training programs, I would say, to give dedicated workshop on sales and marketing to women employees in our organization. And small actions, again purely talking from a marketing point of view, like I said, because we are in the building industry, a lot of our sample kits or a demo kits or anything which our employees have to demo it to the customers, sometimes might end up being a heavy kit, which men might be able to handle but not women. So in such cases, what can be the alternate ways of helping them? So such small thoughts and actions are also being taken on a very frequent manner. So I hope that
Great.
answers.
Yes, very well. Revati, thank you so much. Janani, can I move to you for the question, for the
Yeah,
answer?
yes, as Revati said, even in KBR, we focus more on female candidates, and also we have some walk-ins for women who have taken career breaks. So we have all these initiatives, and apart from this, we also conduct few alumni meets where we explain sales is not only for women. I am part of few groups, women groups, and also school and colleges. We do have alumni meets, right? And also we meet students and we explain them that sales is not like literally go sell something. There are various parts in sales, so we explain all those things. There are inside sales also in most of the companies, so we explain them. We actually break that obstacle in their mind that sales is only for men. So this is what I have personally done.
So there's a lot of thing about ensuring the career intentionality in women, and as I said in the introduction, we spoke about those that women in 1960s. Satyajit Ray has come up with that movie where he sees this, and there's so many hardships that she faces, and she's not even like a professional. She's a homemaker who has to enter and start earning. So that career intentionality part of it, how as a catalyst in the ecosystem for other women. It is amazing to see the role that you all have been playing. Thank you so much for answering that question in great detail. We have another question from Deepali Badatkar. I'm sorry, let me get her name right. Deepali Badatkar. Yes. Did you face any obstacles in terms of career growth in comparison to your male counterparts? Yes. Who would like to go next? First for this question.
Shall I?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Please.
Yeah. So I'll tell you frankly, it's been like 11 years I'm into this field, but so far I've not faced any obstacles with respect to my counterparts. Like they are very supportive. Literally, they were when I was new to this field. It was my manager and my colleague who helped me to learn about the field, and they took me to the client. They made me speak. So I would say I'll thank these people. Without them, I'm not here. So I have not faced any obstacles. I'll tell you.
Great,
I
Janani.
would,
Yes. Priya.
I would take next. Again, back to the same thing that it's almost 3 months that I am in this role of a commercial manager, and since this role was completely new to me, and the market was new to me, actually, my West Commercial Unit lead had to come down along with me to actually take me to different markets, different territories, different dealers, distributors to introduce myself as to this would be a part of our inclusion and diversity. So this is a bigger change that buyer organization is bringing. So that is actually to help me uh, address any obstacles, if any. So I actually got a lot of support from my organization and mentoring from my leader. So yeah.
Great points. Priya again. Yes, Revati.
Yeah, honestly, even I cannot really comment on any obstacles as such. Honestly, the flexibility is one of the things I guess women appreciate about this organization as well. Any kind of relocation they need because of their life stage changing, they're getting married, or if you want to, move and work from your hometown, the work from home flexibility. So all that is something which is really seen at least in the last 2 3 years. So obstacles as such in this particular role, it's a no on my end.
Thank you so much, Revati, again there. So we have also shared the e-link to the ebook that I was talking about, Imposter Syndrome. You can go ahead and download it and read it at your own convenience. Thank you so much, team, for sharing it. We come to the last question from the for the panel. We will see if we have any more questions coming up. What does a day in the life of someone in sales leadership look like? Yes, Janani, would you like to go first? Yeah.
Yeah, so we generally, as soon as we log in, we generally look for the new prospects, and then we'll follow up with the existing clients. If there is any kickoff or project handover, we'll have to be there in that meeting. So we'll plan for that. And usually we'll have to be bridge between the company and the client. So we will make sure everything is ready for any meetings available for the day, and we do win-loss analysis, and we'll see if project fulfillments have taken or if any support is needed. And we monitor the performance of the team and self. So this will be the life of sales leadership, to my knowledge, what I do. Yeah.
That's a very dynamic day routine, Janani. Thank you so much for sharing it. Priya, you next.
So in sales leadership, I perceive it as a leader who is actually leading it from the front, and he actually leads with the purpose, leads with a mission and a vision to grow himself along with his team. So he has a lot of KPI that I must see that not just his internal KPI but also external, where he wants his stakeholders to grow along with him. So, along with his work profile, he has to maintain his people management, people skills, internal as well as external stakeholders. A lot of cross-functional activities happens all over the day, and the person is busy mentoring as well. to his co-colleagues and the person who is reporting to him. So that is how I see sales leadership looks like.
Revati.
So in this particular role of sales and marketing leadership, you have to play a dual role actually. You have to be an individual contributor as well as a team contributor. And working backwards, you have your annual targets and you have your half yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily plans also, which is being set, right? And again, your targets have to be further distributed among your team members. So your daily regular planning has to happen, which should not only include your action plan, but also about assigning of targets, reviewing them on a daily basis, and trying to understand what are the challenges or roadblocks they face. And we will also have to help them get through it. And in addition to all of these things, because we work with our end customers, it's a very dynamic, agile situation. It's not always gonna go as expected. So I mean, if it's right to say, we always have to think on our feet and on our toes all the time. Sometimes it might work. Sometimes, we'll have to definitely reorganize our planning. But at the end of the day, we always work towards that objective which we try to achieve at the end of the year. Yeah.
Great points there again, panelists. And we have one question, which will be the final audience question. That is, being in sales, balancing work life is difficult because you're always thinking about, log kya kahenge, what will society say? How to develop yourself, how to become a woman who just wants to prove herself and grow herself. So this is basically, it boils down to the career intentionality part of it. So yes, can we have your takes, please? We'll begin again with Janani as we do. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Janani.
Yeah. So generally, I'll set my limits with the family and the company. So I try to balance my life. So if I'll explain my family and my husband that I have so and so meeting. Please take care of the kid. It's not that only I'll have to take care. So he's very supportive on that. So I'll plan my meetings. I'll plan my site visits. So planning is the major part, and this helps me to move forward. And also, both my team as well as my family both are supportive. So that also again helps me to move forward. So this is the only thing I do.
Getting the
Planning.
enablers in your
Yeah.
careers. Thank you so much. Yeah, Priya and Revati, both of you next after that.
So again, as my favorite thing, I will go for 3 S here: to be supportive, to be sensitivity of the situation, and success basically. And this is only possible if you have support from your family members. Otherwise, you cannot be successful. So everything goes hand in hand. And I must say that I get 100% support from my husband as well as from my in-laws as well, whenever required, requested. And that is what actually keeps me moving. And it actually strikes the balance between your personal and your professional life. But yes, planning is very important to be successful.
Great. Yes, Revati, your thoughts?
Firstly, it's about knowing your priorities well. Whether it comes to personal front or professional front, you know what you want, or you know what is going to make you feel that you're successful both personally and professionally. Once you are convinced and once you believe in that, it is about convincing your pillars, who are your close circle, who really you want them to believe in you, support you in the journey. There are many instances where even in this society, or my mom's friend go and ask her, like, your daughter seems to be traveling all the time, how does she even manage her life, or how much time does she spend? And then you have to make her explain. You tell your mom, see, this is what I'm trying to do here, this is what I'm learning, this is the exposure or the experience I'm having, the networking I do. Now that she is also convinced, now she will handle rest of the society, right?
Yes.
So it is about knowing what you want, believing in it, being convinced about it, and convincing your support system, and the rest is taken care of. Yeah.
Thank you so much, panelists, Janani, Priya, and Revati. I think in this 1 hour, we have dwelled into something that is so much deep And there is a lot of aspirational quotient to this whole discussion. I'm sure women out there, the audiences, have been like, wow, that sounds that's seeing things in a very new light. And we have motivated them through this discussion to actually take up sales. So thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for sparing your valuable time and sharing your thoughts and experiences with our audiences. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Janani.
much for the opportunity.
Thanks, Janani, and
Thank
thanks,
you.
panelists
Thank
as
you.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
thanks.
you. Thank you,
Thank you,
panelists.
everyone.
Thanks for that very enriching discussion. And with that, we have come to an end to the fifth day of Diversity Mahotsav. Thank you so much. And with that enriching discussion, we have come to an end to the fifth day of Diversity Mahotsav. Thank you for joining in today. You have all been such a wonderful audience. And we would once again like to thank our partners, featured partners, Kellogg, Brown and Root Engineering and Construction India Private Limited and Saint Gobain India Private Limited. We have another exciting day planned for Thursday, that is 8th of December, tomorrow, 2022. And we have a workshop, Resume Building by Rekha Manola, Talent Acquisition, DEI and Program Manager, and APJ R&D Hiring Lead, Talent Evangelist, Talent Acquisition, HP Inc. India. Please visit www.myavatar.com to explore various opportunities and activities that celebrate diversity. If you have not registered at myavatar.com yet, please do log in and register now. Browse through to find jobs that might suit your skill sets, read articles of interest, upskill yourself through various webinars conducted exclusively for you. Our social media hashtags for Diversity Mahotsav are hashtag Diversity Mahotsav 2022, hashtag celebrating diversity. So please do post your experiences at Diversity Mahotsav on your SM handles with the hashtags. So as we draw close to the day, I'm going to request you all to actually spare a couple of minutes and provide your feedback on today's sessions. Please bring up the feedback form. So how would you rate today's session on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the minimum and 5 being the maximum? And we also have question on how do you rate our panelists on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the minimum and 5 being the maximum? How would you rate our moderator on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the minimum and 5 being the maximum? Please also take this opportunity to share your feedback on if there is anything else you wished the sessions covered in today's topic. Would you like to suggest a topic that you wish to hear from us during Diversity Mahotsav? If yes, please give us your suggestions in the text box. Yeah. What is your takeaway from today's session? So you have 6 questions. I would give you a minute to answer all of them. Please do submit your feedback because it only helps us get better with our Diversity Mahotsav episodes. Thank you so much. While you fill your valuable feedback, let me reiterate about the next session of Diversity Mahotsav that is coming up tomorrow at 4 p.m., 8th December, Thursday. While it is the most basic step for a job search, most of us have a lot of queries and doubts about it. Resume writing. How do you structure it? What should you include and what you should leave out? We have Rekha Manola, Talent Acquisition DEI Program Manager and APJ R&D Hiring Lead, Talent Evangelist, Talent Acquisition, HP Inc. India, taking us through the process, the do's and the don'ts. Do join us tomorrow, 8th December, in between 4 and 5 p.m. Signing off today is Janani Sampath. Take care, stay safe, do stay tuned. See you tomorrow at the same time.